It's Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. A lot of good news to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. Dow Jones up 599 points today. S&P 500 up 89 points today. And the NASDAQ up 367. 30-year fixed rate for a mortgage right now today, 4.43%. I believe we are going to watch things in the housing market really begin to slow down. And I have no doubt we're going to see interest rates blow past 5% for a 30-year. And I think this is going to have a huge negative effect on the housing market. And we are going to watch things continue to slow down. Mortgage rates go up, mortgage applications go down, inventory increase, and prices are going to be coming down. So we'll watch what happens this summer. A lot of this new builder inventory going to be hitting the market. A lot of these landlords who have been evicting people are going to be putting these properties on the market. So let's keep our eyes on that. Also, Bitcoin up today, no surprise, because as we all know, Bitcoin now trades with the market. So very, very interesting. But getting back to gold, silver being slammed today, gold down over $40. I do believe that some of this has to do with the rate hike that is coming tomorrow. I believe that the precious metals markets are anticipating an interest rate increase, a rate hike. Sooner or later, the precious metals markets will realize that a quarter basis point is going to do absolutely nothing in stopping the inflation that continues to run out of control. So no matter how many times they raise the interest rates this year, it's going to have absolutely no effect on inflation. The metals markets will realize that. They will continue to go up, in my personal opinion. Great time to back up the truck and maybe buy a little bit now that gold is well under 2,000. Take advantage of the sales, right? I mean, we like things that are on sale. We've already seen what gold can do, silver coming along for the ride, but we've already seen what gold can do, especially with volatility, uncertainty, and inflation. This is not over, ladies and gentlemen, just the beginning. Oil got hammered. Do you think oil is going to stay below $100 a barrel? There's no doubt it's going way up, just like gold's going way up, silver's going up, all this stuff is going up. Take advantage of the pullback and get some. That's not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. Now, let's get into some of the real good news here today. Maybe this had something to do, maybe this was responsible for the markets just exploding today. Dow Jones, let's just say 600 points, right? Big day. Maybe it was Foxconn in talks to build $9 billion factory in Saudi Arabia. You know, they make the iPhones, right? I think they make about 20% of Apple's iPhones. Well, they're in talks to build a $9 billion facility in Saudi Arabia. Why not here? Why aren't they building it here? But I guess that's the great news that helped to push these markets upward and onward today. Stock market up, incredible. CNN reported this: China has expressed some openness to providing military and financial aid to Russia. More good news, right? So I think we're finding out who our friends are. The hedge today, petrodollar cracks. Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan for Chinese oil sales. We are watching this with eyes wide open of countries now looking for alternatives to the dollar. Saudi Arabia in talks with Beijing to price some of its oil sales to China in yuan. Saudis have become increasingly unhappy with the U.S. and the lack of support to protect them. They don't feel that we will step up and protect them. And with some of the things that are happening over there where we've really not done much, they're basically saying that we're not upholding our end of the deal and being their security guard. And so they're going to be shopping. And they're now in talks with China. And if this happens, where they start accepting yuan, this would give an absolute major boost to the yuan And it would put it on path, quite possibly somewhere down the road, to be the next world reserve currency, the petro yuan reserve currency. Not to say that's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but China is very patient, and they are setting things up for the future. And I don't think the future is that far away, because the world, in my opinion, and I think most of you would agree, have lost a lot of respect for America. They feel enslaved by the US dollar. You know, oil, everyone being forced into using dollars to buy and sell oil. And a lot of the world just feels enslaved. They didn't like the wars that we've been in. And how did we afford those wars? Well, we just printed money out of thin air, and we were able to build, you know, billion-dollar military bases, spend trillions of dollars on wars. And the world's sick of it. And things are going to change. We are definitely watching a major shift change. Saudi Arabia invites China to visit kingdom amid strained U.S. relations. I mean, this stuff is all over the news, ladies and gentlemen. Just connect the dots. I think we can all see where this is going. We are watching major moves taking place right now between major countries: India, Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, just to name a few. And while all this is happening, there's people out there watching baseball games and basketball games. And, you know, I was out today, and I got to tell you, I saw, first off, coming home today, I passed the Chevron station, super unleaded, $6.69 in Palm Springs. Let me repeat that. Super unleaded at Chevron in Palm Springs, $6.69. And I'm watching people driving around in these big SUVs. We've got the tennis tournament here in Indian Wells, and they're expecting roughly a little bit over 400,000 people over the next 2 weeks for the tournament. People flying in on private jets, people, you know, driving in SUVs. Not a care in the world. Restaurants very, very busy yesterday. And yes, a lot of these people are the top 1%, top 10%. But when I'm cruising down I-10, I'm amazed with the amount of cars and traffic, and we're talking $6 plus for a gallon of gas out here now, and people are driving around nonchalant like it's no big deal. But there are people that get it and people that don't, but the majority of people just don't see the threats, the risk. They just believe, hey, they turned on the TV today, Dow Jones up 600 points, everything's fine. I'm going to go out and go golfing today, I'm going to go out to dinner, everything's fine. And we all know everything is not fine. In this article today, Costco runs out of emergency food kits. This is a real bellwether here. Sold out, ReadyWise emergency food kits sold out at their brick and mortar stores and online. So what is that telling us? It's telling us that some people know what's going on, and they're taking the necessary precautions. The 5,400 count of emergency food pellet is out of stock according to Costco's website. The kit comes with 36 stackable 5.3 gallon buckets of food that last up to 25 years. And while I bring this up, so important that, you know, we talk about gold, we talk about silver. Having some emergency food is so important. If you can afford to go out and get some of this stuff, get it while you can. I haven't checked the websites lately, but I'm sure it's getting harder and harder to get. I know for a while it was very difficult to get, but if you can get some, this is a great investment. This is an incredible asset to have, because if you can't get to a store, if the shelves are empty, if the power's off, you'll thank God that you have some emergency food. And if you can't do that, go get yourself some canned food, get some extra water, you know, go to the grocery store, do something. Just too many people with excuses of why they're not doing anything, but they can drink a $9 latte from Starbucks, or they can go to a baseball game. You know, people better really start, you know, prioritizing things right now, because we're getting very, very close. Yes, the markets were on fire today. We'll get a rate increase tomorrow. I'm sure that's already baked into the cake, and everything's going to be fine. But you take a look at what's going on. Some of the things I'm just sharing with you today. On top of that, things in Eastern Europe are not settling down. It seems that both sides are more divisive than ever, and yet markets continue to go up. So one day the markets get hammered and they blame it on what's happening in Eastern Europe. Well, nothing's changed, but now the markets are up. But we have so much more news, and there are absolutely no fundamentals in these markets. I've never seen so much bad news. And you know, there'll be people out there saying I'm a doom and gloomer and I'm negative. Listen, please, you know, don't hate the messenger here. I'm just reporting the facts and the data. You know, here's another article right here from CNBC. Over half of Americans have less than 3 months worth of emergency savings. Over half of Americans in the wealthiest, so-called wealthiest nation on planet Earth have less than 3 months of emergency savings. And this is what's really concerning about this is, you know, and I know that we're going to fall deeper into this economic abyss, that we're going to see real hardships. We're going to continue to see stagflation, this inflation running out of control. We're going to continue. It's amazing. Gas pulled down under $100 a barrel today, but it's $6.69 at Chevron. So we're going to continue to see prices soar. And while we do, just look at this. And I think this is a very conservative number, but over half of Americans have less than 3 months of savings. So if you take this article as fact, that's 50% of America, or over 50% of America, have 3 months of life support. Then after that, what happens? As we head into the worst depression America has ever seen, and over half of America is basically broke. And this article was printed in 2021, I believe. It's much worse today. The inflation, when this article was printed, the inflation was not nearly where it is today. And so, again, the concern is how unprepared the majority of this country is for an economic downturn. And so many people in these markets drinking their $9 lattes have never seen a downturn. They've never seen a major correction, let alone a crash. And they're going to get wiped out, and they're not prepared. Everything they have, many of these people, is invested in these markets, double, triple, quadruple down in these markets. They are addicted to it, the greed. And people are gonna get wiped out. If you're making some money in these markets, God bless you. I hope you're pulling some out. I hope you're putting some cash on the sidelines. I hope that you have some emergency food. I hope you have some gold, some silver. I hope that you're diversified. Another article from The Hedge today. U.S. producer prices soar at double digits for first time. Producer prices rose 10% year over year in February. First time since the Bloomberg data began. Another article today, and this is with Peter Schiff. He warns inflation only has one way to go, and we know where that is, ladies and gentlemen. It is up. What is going to stop the inflation? We've printed so much money, and now we have another $1.5 trillion package that's been passed, going to be signed, and it's going to be printed and borrowed, and that is going to guarantee even more inflation on top of the inflation we have right now, the 7.9%, which we know is probably 17, 18 plus percent. Peter Schiff says this in the article: a health crisis didn't create inflation. Eastern Europe didn't create inflation. Greedy corporations didn't create the inflation. The definition of inflation is an expansion of the money supply, and it's the Federal Reserve that's been expanding the money supply. They create dollars. Then the government spends those dollars, and then the value of those dollars goes down. And the U.S. citizen, the consumer, at the end pays the price. Now, I know everybody enjoyed the benefits, the stimulus checks, all the free money. But as they always say, there is no such thing as a free lunch. And we're all now seeing the price that is going to be paid because of all the money printing, all the QE, all the stimulus, all the benefits, the $8 trillion, and now another $1.5 trillion getting ready to load up on the printing press. And people think that this is all going to be fixed on its own, that the Fed is going to be able to repair this, that the Fed is looking out for them, that everything's okay. You're gonna wake up one day and you're going to realize that you were very wrong. And I hope, while you're wrong, that you were taking some kind of precautions and hedging your bets here, because this is going to get really out of control. A very interesting article today on The Hedge. Hycroft mining shares rocket after AMC Theaters takes a 22% stake. Everything we are seeing taking place right now and what is going to take place is no doubt good for gold. We see nothing but inflation coming. You see it and I see it. More inflation is on the way. Rising prices on the way. More QE on the way. And 25 basis points here and there is not going to do diddly for this fight against this inflation. This economy, in my opinion, is being sacrificed for the stock market. I don't care if the Dow Jones goes up 1,000 points tomorrow or down 1,000 points. We know what is happening right now to this economy. It is being gutted. It's wrecked. It's been destroyed. The economy is in a Great Depression right now. Commercial real estate destroyed. The housing market is next on the chopping block. And this inflation genie is out of the bottle and there is no putting it back. It is out, and we have not even seen the beginning of the destruction that we're going to see by all this inflation. AMC and well-known precious metals expert Eric Sprott both will be investing $27.9 million in Hycroft. So this is huge speculation. It's a huge move. And, you know, what do they know? They are, I think, betting against the debt and betting against the inflation. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want to share one last article coming to you from CNN. And I know people will be like, oh, I can't believe JB is, you know, sharing articles from CNN. Look, I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. I take news from everywhere. I leave it up to you to come to your own conclusions, your own judgments, and to decipher this. But this article titled, U.S. Economy Flashes a Recession Warning Sign. Yield curve is flattening, and we need to be paying attention to the yield curve, especially the 10-year and the 2-year. Pay attention. The 10-year right now, as I make this video, is a little bit over 2.1%. The 2-year is a little bit over 1.85%. And we're going to see them flatten. And as we do, this is and they're going to invert. And this is typically a warning for recession. I don't know if I need any more warning about what a recession is or when the recession will be here. I'm looking at the data right now, and I think we're beyond recession. I think, honestly, we are in the beginning stages of a very, very destructive depression, one that potentially could be worse than the Great Depression of 1929. I just look at the amount of people out of the labor force, the amount of people not working, the average medium income, wages, how many people are getting benefits, how many people are getting full-time work, how much debt this country has, the deficits, the pension crisis, the deficit in trade. We've got real serious trouble. And just look at college tuition debt, household debt, the dependency on credit cards, $31 trillion in national debt. And I just look at wealth and opportunity inequality just widening. And so to me, we're beyond recession already. And by the time they tell us we're in a recession, you'll know that we're deep into a depression. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless all of you. Please share this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. And as always, thank God tonight for everything you have. Be walking close to God. That is the #1 asset, more important than emergency food, more important than security, more important than any amount of gold or silver that you could have. Walk close to God, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see crazy things happening. You're already seeing crazy things happening, but it's going to get real crazy. So get ready. Get ready. God bless.